I'm going to stand because I'm not good at perching. So, my name is Summa Canada, and I'm running for council also in Ward 13. Thank you so much, Sharon, for having us. Thank you, Arthur Salisbury, whose daughter I grew up with. It's really great to see all of you guys. I want to ask the room a quick question. How many of you in the last year or week or months have uttered or heard the phrase, "It is what it is"? It is what it is. I hear this all day long. I go absolutely bananas when I hear it is what it is. I'm like, what are you talking about? It doesn't have to be that way. My experience, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My last job up until last December was as the Chief of Staff for the Providence City Council. And one thing that I worked really hard on in that capacity was bucking the trend of it is what it is. When, for example, we were trying to get the Community Safety Act, or the Providence Community Police Relations Act as it wound up being, so many people, it was, we were stuck. And it is what it is. Well, it's not gonna happen. Well, it's in the garbage can. And in my office, I was the person that took it out of the garbage can and said, hey, look, it isn't what it is. We can get this done. I worked with the staff, I worked with community organizers, I worked with the police, I worked with the council, shepherding to get this through, calling, keeping people at the table, and with the great work of folks like Councilwoman Harris and Councilman Aponte, we actually got that done. But the driving force behind that was that we can do this, and it isn't what it is. Same thing with the Board of Licenses. This is how I know Sharon. People are like, we've done this before, we've done this, and I'm not saying it's perfect, it's not perfect, we have a lot of problems there, but we did the great first step, and I said, to then Council President Aponte, we need an audit. We need someone that's going to come and look at this, unpack it from top to bottom, and make recommendations. It isn't what it is. So we hired Jeff Kine, and we went in, and we went through, and we made some changes. We went up to the State House, we got enabling legislation to make some changes. There was a lot more work to be done, but what I did was I moved the ball. That's what I did. So a little bit about myself. I bought my house in Ward 13 in 1999. I'm a graduate of Hope High School. I later went to San Francisco State. I got my BA in Urban Studies. And it not being what it is, when I was a single mom in my mid-30s, I went back to grad school. I got a master's in city planning from MIT. People said you could never do that coming from Hope. I did it with 2 kids by myself. And then it wasn't what it was. I went to Harvard and I got a master's in education because I cared about what was happening. I could see the connection in urbanism. You have to look at planning, you have to look at zoning, you have to look at education, you have to look at housing. All these things are connected, and I needed to know more, so I went on and did that. All of this informs who I am and what I do. I have 2 children in the ward. I've lived as a parent. I've been a small business owner there. I've been active in the community, and I've worked for the city in various capacities. So I'm very excited to bring that energy and that grit forward to make a difference as your city council person. It's not something that one person can do themselves. You, the council, we all have great ideas, but you have to have, and we've all seen this, you don't get there without 8 people agreeing with you, or 10 if the mayor decides to veto it. You need to work collaboratively, you need to be a good negotiator, you need to be steadfast, and you can't get beat down. And anyone who's worked with me would tell you that I'm that person. I don't take no for an answer, I don't stop, but I work well with other people. I'm a bridge builder and I'm a collaborator. And I understand what it means to bring people to the table. We may not get everything that we want the first round, but I'm sure gonna keep going and keep going and keep going until I can make a difference, because it's not what it is. So I'm gonna follow the rules and answer these questions as a yes or no. So much like Councilman Harris, so I'm going to say no, no, yes. Thank you very much. I look forward to speaking to you all individually.
Thank you, Sarah.